All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on mmaunhinged. I'm joined by Nathan Kelly. How's it going?
What's the story, pal? How's things?
Yeah, not too bad yourself. We were just chatting on there before we went on there, and we're talking about obviously everything that we talk about. But we've got such an important thing to talk about. This PFL Challenger Series. You're back on PFL. I'm so excited they brought you back.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be good. I didn't really know I was gonna be on. Well, in fairness, I knew I was gonna be on it a long while before it obviously got announced and stuff like that. But leading up to it, I didn't expect it. I thought I was just gonna be fighting in Europe and all that jazz. And then next of all, like I was on to them and they told me, look, we're gonna bring it over to Florida to fight in the Challenger Series. I was like, fuck off, you serious? Like, I mean, I was like, no way. And then they're like, yeah, so the fucking fair play to them. They got me visa sorted. They made everything so handy for me. They basically made my life so much easier than it already is. You know what I mean? And yeah, got me visa sorted. I knew I was going to be fighting. Got the date then, so I knew what date I was fighting. And then obviously last week then I got my opponent. Finally, so I knew I was training for the fight. I just didn't know what kind of style I was going to be coming up against. Now I have an idea what I'm coming up against. I've seen them, I've watched them, and now I'm prepared, ready to go.
Yeah, and you mentioned there you're fighting in Orlando, Florida. I know you fought in Las Vegas once upon a time in the amateur scene. So, how does it feel to be ticking off these destinations as you travel the world fighting?
Man, it's just fucking unreal. That's when I was since as long as I can remember from being a kid. You know, I mean, it's always been dream to like travel to different countries, fight in these countries, see what's around and stuff like that. Because like I know, like most people have these dreams of like that they'll work 9 to 5 or whatever shifts they do, and they'll take a month off and go travel the world and stuff like that. I'm kind of getting to do that with my job. You know what I mean? So with fighting, I'm getting to do that, getting to see these lovely places, going to cool destinations, and then fighting in them ultimately. So like the buzz I get from fighting and all that jazz that goes with it. So getting the job satisfaction of it, and then fighting in these places, getting to see around the place, it's unreal, man. Honestly, and I'm fucking blessed that I'm grateful that I have all these opportunities coming my way, and you know what I mean. I'm only 25, and like I'm only really kickstarting my career now. So as far as I'm concerned, this is just the beginning of a whole lot of new destinations, new fights, new arenas, new seeing new people, all that jazz. So I'm just enjoying it all, each step at a time.
Yeah, and then PFL is a fantastic promotion. They've been really striving the last few years, and it's good to see what they're doing for for the industry, for the sport. They're really bringing it up. But yeah, your second fight in PFL, last time out against Ben Ellis, a submission, first round submission. I felt like it was never in doubt they were going to bring you back. I think you were one of the main stars that really performed in that PFL undercard. But now you're back on one of the biggest shows again. How does it feel, obviously, get this opportunity once again? And obviously, as we talked about already, fighting in Orlando, Florida, maybe a cheeky casino visit.
Yeah, I don't know. I try my best to stay away from gambling as much as I can because I feel like I can get myself into trouble if I get too carried away with myself. But no, man, I'm fucking buzzing for it. Like that, I went out in Cardiff, sorry, to make a statement, to prove myself. You know what I mean? They gave me the ESPN slot. You know what I mean? Opening up the main card for like Roddy McDonald, childhood hero of mine. You know what I mean? Would have watched Roddy McDonald since I'm a kid. You know what I mean? And next of all, I get told I'm opening up the ESPN for them. You know what I mean? And I promised them. I said to the lads from the team and the production crew and all the commentators, I was like, lads, most people will probably shy away from all. It's like I'm coming here to fucking impress you now. You know what I mean? I wanted to tell them. I was basically telling them like, giving me this chance and letting me have the chance to open up the main card and taking the risk because it could have been a shit fight for all day now, and it would have been like, we should have done something else and had a bit more of a crowd, and the crowd would have enjoyed it. So I was like, the fact that you just gave me that fight, I'm coming out. I'm gonna make sure this is a good performance. So I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna put it on this cunt. You know what I mean? And fucking really take this head off and hunt for that finish. You know what I mean? And I did just that. And then I think because like even when I was talking to him before, I kind of told him word for word how I was gonna go. I was like, I'm gonna hit him hard. He's either gonna get knocked out or else I'm gonna clip him, but he's gonna want to wrestle me. And when he wants to wrestle me, I'll grapple him and then I'll submit him if it need be. And I literally did it word for word exactly how I said it. And I think maybe that also impressed them as well because you know what I mean. I wasn't bullshit. It literally happened exactly how I said it. So they obviously liked a bit of my personality that comes with it. You know what I mean? I went out for the meal with them all after, and I was having a laugh and having a buzz with them. So obviously they saw that there was like a bit of personality there, a bit of something to draw on, and they're giving me this chance now, so I'm fucking proper happy out. Like, they treat me so well, and they seem to be really getting behind me, and that makes me happy. That makes me want to fight for them, and you know what I mean. I'm just enjoying it all step by step.
Yeah, there's nothing not to like about you. Obviously, got a fantastic personality, and you got the skills to showcase that, as we've seen in the last fight. And thus far in your career, you've got some fantastic wins. When I've seen you fight, and I've seen you look, you got a win over Shamrock, who's really good. You've got a win over Kieran Clark back in the amateurs, so
Yeah,
it proves that you've got, obviously you've got the capability to take it as far as you want.
yeah. I'm kind of like I pride myself in always fighting the best. You know what I mean? Since I was a kid, I started fighting when I was 17. Each fight, I always took a better challenge. I always fought the best. I mean, and you know what I mean. I fought the best and lost. I fought the best and won through my amateur career. But you know what I mean. I always challenged myself against the best. I went obviously to the IMAFs. You're fighting the best each country has to offer there. You know what I mean. And I got to the final. Unfortunately, I lost in the final. That's the game. But you know what I mean. I really hold myself accountable for who I'm fighting, and I never really like taking easy fights because it's not a true testament to who I am as a fighter, and it's not going to get me anywhere but keep me in like a stale position. So if you're fighting the best in the world and fighting all the top level you can get, you know what I mean? Yeah, it brings the best out of you, and if you're beating them lads, then you have a real assurance of your skill level. So I enjoy that side of it. I enjoy like the challenge that comes with fighting top lads, and you know what I mean. I'm gonna keep doing it until I can't do it no more.
Yeah, then we'll move over to your next assignment. You'll be fighting Zachary Hicks, 8-4 as a professional mixed martial artist, and I presume that you've maybe had a chance to look at Zachary. If so, what do you make him as a fighter?
Yeah, he looks composed. He looks calm. He um, he looks strong. You know what I mean? But I think everyone is at this level. There's not no MMA fighter isn't strong. You know what I mean? But you know what? I've seen a lot of things that it's gonna work to my strength. You know what I mean? I just feel like he's pretty grappling orientated. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe I said the same against Ben Ellis. It's kind of like a similar style to Ben Ellis. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of out of one fight camp into another for the same style of opponent. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna prepare the same way I prepared for Ben Ellis. You know what I mean? Hit him hard, make either spark him out or make him want to panic wrestle. And I think this fella is gonna want to wrestle. I think he's gonna want to close the distance, shoot in for a takedown, or try wrap up a body lock and push me up against the fence or whatever like that. So, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna be well rehearsed, well drilled for whatever he has to offer, which I think is just gonna be more grappling orientated. So me hands at the minute are very crisp. You know what I mean? I'm doing a lot of extra work with me striking coaches lately. Just piecing things together and getting another level of confidence in me striking. So like I said as well, I'm a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm competing at black belt level tournaments. I'm winning them. You know what I mean? I'm not like afraid to grapple. Like, if in fact I can grapple if I want to grapple. You know what I mean? But I just always felt like in some of my previous fights I would have rushed grappling exchanges just for the sake of controlling the fight. But now I'm building that level of confidence in me striking that I can control the fight on the feet. So when I'll grapple on my terms, and whenever they want to grapple, it'll be on my terms. So hit them hard, back them up, make them afraid of what's coming, and soon to be guaranteed they'll be shooting. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm well rehearsed in all aspects of the grappling, so I'll be ready for that.
Yeah, you pretty much answered my next question. When I researched Zachary, anyway, pretty much exactly what you said. Very grappling, heavy, grappling heavy. 5 submissions thus far in his career. And I was going to ask you, do you feel like he's going to initiate the grappling? But you talked about it there. But do you feel like I'm going to quickly change the question a little bit? But do you feel like maybe he could not underestimate your grappling, but maybe feel like maybe you're not as good as grappling maybe as you are? Because as you talked about black belt, you're winning black belt tournaments. So do you feel like maybe you could, maybe feel that he could take advantage of his grappling of yours?
I hope he does. You know what I mean? Because if you're somewhat naive to the fact of someone else's skill level, Like that's why I'm respecting his skill level. I'm respecting he probably is a good wrestler and all that jazz. He's gonna be strong. He'll be tight on the body lock. He'll have good strength, good grips. You know what I mean? But like I'm not disrespecting that. I'm preparing for that. Whereas I don't, cause he doesn't get a proper glimpse of my grappling in fights. He might be a bit naive to it. You know what I mean? But that's on him if that is the case, and I'll capitalize on that when, you know what I mean, when the time comes. If he does think he's better there and makes mistakes or whatever like that. He looks quite scrambly from one of the two other fights I've seen, but like relatively speaking, the level of opponent he's facing, you know what I mean. I just don't really rate them, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to gauge how good someone is because he's not facing top opponents. You know what I mean? He's not facing a high level, so it's hard to gauge how good someone actually is until they come up against a real high level. And I'm gonna be probably his first proper taste of a high level in regards to skill on the feet, skill in the clinch, skill in the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. You know what I mean? I have tools everywhere, and I think some of his last opponents didn't. And some of them were kind of quite afraid of him, and on the back foot and like afraid of being in a fight. Whereas I'm coming to have a fight. I'm coming there to put this guy away, and I think, you know what I mean. Obviously, he'd be happy if he gets a finish, but I think ultimately he'd be really happy if he grinds out a decision against me. Whereas I'll be fuming if I don't get a finish against him. You know what I mean? I think there's a finish there for me, and I'm coming for it.
Yeah, I completely agree. On paper, Zachary is your most experienced today, obviously having 12 professional fights. But what you've just said there, you've had that, the big fights on the big show. You've had a fight in Bellator, you've had a fight in PFL. And retrospect, this is his first, as you talked about, first big fight on a big promotion. So do you
Yeah,
see that being a difference on fight day because you've had that experience, you've walked the walk basically?
it might be. I'm not saying it will be, but there's a good chance that it will be. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I'm literally so at ease with this fighting game now. You know what I mean? That I just fucking love it. You know what I mean? I don't really get nervous per se for like fighting on certain shows or whatever like that, because I'm enjoying this journey one step at a time. And I remember even when I was in PFL Cardiff, I was chilling there, and I was like, you know what? Man, you fucking deserve to be here. You deserve this chance. You deserve to be a star. So go out and be a star. You know what I mean? And I think that just gave me a little kick up the hole, and then went to the weigh-ins. I felt like a champ. Went to the day of the fight, felt like a champ. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna go off to Florida, feel like a champ, and feel that confidence run through my body, and you know what I mean. Let it flow out of me. Whereas maybe this is a big. He's probably waited all his life for a chance like this to fight for PFL, and whereas like. You know what I mean? I'm the young, hungry guy. I think this guy's like 33, whereas I'm the young, hungry guy. He's waited all his life for this. He's probably like putting all his eggs into this basket, trying to make sure he gets this win, which I'm presuming he does because, you know what I mean, what's he doing it for if he's not? But you know what I mean. I'm at a different level of camp. I'm well rehearsed, well prepared. I'm confident in my preparation, and I'm confident in my performances on the night, and all the small factors that go with it. Like, you know what I mean, the fighting on big shows, blah blah blah. I sound real like arrogant towards it, but I'm just well used to it now because I fought in the biggest arena in Dublin. I fought in like one of the bigger arenas in Cardiff. You know what I mean? I've done it. Like I've done it a few times, and like there's nothing changing for me other than I can only control what I can control, and which is the fight, and I'm gonna control it all the way.
Yeah, if we talk about your last fight briefly, you came in very fast, very hot. It seemed like you wanted something. You wanted to get your point across in that first 30 seconds. You were throwing them hands like it was nobody's business. In this fight, is it the same sort of approach? You're going to come in there, you're going to come out fast, pressure him, and let your hands go.
Um, I always like to start off strong. You know what I mean? Emphasize my game plan directly from the start. You know what I mean? You feel around out for you feel each other out for too long. You know what I mean? It can just get a bit wishy washy, and not there's wrong with that. Obviously, when you get to a higher level, you have to be a bit more cautious of what the other person's going to bring. But as long as I'm calm and comfortable and I have my eyes on him, I'm going to be coming at him. So I plan on hitting them hard early, as I always do for every fight. Hit them hard early, let them know they're in the fight, and then when they're in the fight and they feel the power, see what they want to do from there. If they want to grapple and stop themselves getting hit, or if they want to stand and bang, you know what I mean? It'll either be one or the two normally. And I don't think this fella will want to be standing and banging. So I feel when I come out early and hit him early, he's gonna want to grapple. So, I'm gonna be well rehearsed, well prepared for that, and just have counters ready for everything he does, and get my game plan off, and stick to it, and just put a pressure on him that he's never felt before.
And short and simple, really question: what's going to be the difference on fight day when you get your hand raised? What's going to be that factor?
Sorry, what you mean, like in terms of my performance and his performance?
Pretty much, yeah.
I just think, man, I'm sparring such good high level lads every day. You know what I mean? All these lads who are sparring, they're like challenging, like Bracatone, Brave War champion. Pedro Carvalho is challenged for a Bellator title. Brian Moore, Bellator top 10. Who else? Richie Smullen, Bellator. Kieran Clark, Bellator. Who else? Jesus, I could go all fucking day, man. Fucking John, like I don't spar Johnny, but I'm around him and I get that buzz off him, and it brings me up a level. Just being around someone who's in the UFC and all that stuff. But like Daniele Scatizzi, Derek Kelly, Kenny, you know what I mean? Asiel Juge, all absolute beasts. You know what I mean? And I just think the amount of bad positions I'm put in every day in the gym against all these top lads just reassures me that I've seen it all, I've faced it all, I've felt it all, and there's nothing going to be there that he's going to show me that I've never felt before. Whereas I don't know how credible the level of his club is, who was in his club, who he's sparring, but I can guarantee that they're nowhere near the level of us, and I'm riding on that, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor in how I beat him.
Yeah, SBG, as you talked about, one of the biggest gyms in the world, if not the biggest. Most notoriously known as Connor, as you talked about, as we talked about, and obviously Jonna, yourself, Kenny as well, fighting for Bellator. Kenny's an absolute savage. He's going to look good on the Bellator show in Dublin. And Richie Smullen as well. Man, you've got some killers out there in SBG.
And I tell you now, like it's just like I guess to the point where I'm in the rounds in the morning and I'm looking around going, oh bollocks, have to go against this fella now, you know what I mean? I'm like, I fucking want a break, and then you go from Richie to Kieran and you're like, fucking hopefully God is up there looking down at me and just lets me survive this round, you know what I mean? Man, there's no easy rounds. There really isn't, you know what I mean? And like that's Monday to Friday, you know what I mean? Saturday I'll do my own thing, I'll kind of just train myself or whatever, but Monday to Friday every single day, like there's no easy rounds, and like I'm not one to duck the hard rounds. I'll always push myself. I'll always go against the good lads, because the reality is, like, unless you're facing the top lads, you're not going to rise to their level. You know what I mean? And they will bring you up a level in yourself, because you know what I mean. You have to keep yourself in check. You know what I mean, or else they're going to get smashed. So I challenge myself with the good lads, and like that, I'm under heavy pressure from all these lads every day. They're all well rounded, all well skilled, all on good win streaks, all driving, all competitive, all ambitious. And when you mix that all together in a big pot, everyone benefits from that. You know what I mean? And I just think that's, you know what I mean. That's what's gonna egg us all on in the next year or two, is how well we're all doing, how well we're all training together, and just how good we're all improving.
Yeah, I think John Kavanagh announced it might have been on the Arohani show yesterday, that SBG Ireland had like an 83 win percentage in 2022. So
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
that's very good, man. You know what I mean? Considering the amount of fighters there is there and how many fights we all have throughout the year and stuff, it's very good. Like, obviously, some don't go your way, but to have 83% is a very high rate. You know what I mean? And then that makes me like, no, that makes me be proud to be a part of. You know what I mean? Because we're like, fucking guys, we must be doing something good here. You know what I mean? We're all getting good wins. We're all training all the time. Like, we're out of fights, straight back into the gym the next week. You know what I mean? There's no pissing about with us. We all don't take 2-3 weeks off, months off here and there. We're all straight back to the gym straight after to get better and improve. Like, it's like this whole 24/7 approach, 365. You know what I mean? That's what our approach is, and it's working out really well for us. And we're like obviously on a nice little path here, and long may it last.
Yeah, and the last question about the fight, a win sets you up for a fantastic 2023. If you just look at what you can achieve, the Challenger Series is a fantastic series. If we saw last year, Delano Taylor came from the Challenger Series, he made it all the way to the final. So you can never say never in this PFL. The way they do it, their structure, you can never say never. But how excited are you to obviously showcase your audience to a worldwide audience? Because it's going to be maybe a new audience. Because let's be honest, the Americans might not know who Nathan Kelly is. So that's what your opportunity is on March 3rd.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for it, man. Do you know what I mean? This is what it's all about. It's breaking into these new American markets and showing what you're about, showing the personality, get them to like you know what I mean? And as long as you bring it, man, the fans are going to like it. And I'm not here to put pussy about and circle the cage and, you know what I mean, play fucking loosey goosey and dancy rancy, you know what I mean? I'm coming in to have a fight, you know what I mean? And that's all I think the difference is going to be in this next fight. I'm coming in to have a fist fight, you know what I mean? I'm coming in to throw leather and to do damage. So that's what I'm going to come out to do. I'm going to come out to entertain. I want to get the fans on board, and you know what I mean. Build myself in America, throughout Europe, throughout the world. You know what I mean. That's what I'm looking to do in the next year. Build up that profile, gain loads of new fans, and show them exactly who Nathan Kelly is and what I'm coming to do.
I absolutely agree. I think it's a fantastic year for yourself, and I think it starts on March 3rd, where you'll showcase it and obviously prove to everyone that you're legit. You thought, as we talked about, you fought some absolute savages in your career thus far, and it's just only going to go up and up and up. But I wanted to ask you: have you searched up the best bar in Orlando, Florida, for a Guinness yet? Have you thought about that far?
Nah, it'll be fucking shit over there, yeah, man. Ireland is the best place for Guinness, hands down. There's no
I've never been, but apparently it's good.
My dad works in a bar, and I actually had the PFL over recording me, and I got your man, the cameraman, to have us up with a Guinness, you know what I mean? Because he was like, I had a Guinness in Barcelona and all. I was like, don't, that fucking waste your time, that is. It's like, have one of these Guinness, you know what I mean? Have one of these Guinness, and he had us up. He's like, fucking hell, that's good. I was like, that's what a real Guinness is. When my PFL got me like recorded me like taking us up at a Guinness, splitting the G and all, me little Guinness mustache and all, licking it off. It's like that's how you drink a pint of Guinness, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I might go on the old, I'll celebrate with an old whiskey or something, you know what I mean? Your man's from Nashville, Tennessee, so I wonder will he give me like a Tennessee bourbon or something like that, you know what I mean? We'll see. I might see if I can grab a hold of him after and see if he can recommend something to me after the fight. But like that, we're home the next day. We're literally home the next day, so I don't know if I'll be going too mad with the drinking after the fight, because I'll probably be on a long ass flight home the next day. So I might have to try sneaking a Guinness somewhere, give it a go. And then I'll rate the Guinness on my social media. I always take a pic, like I'll take a picture. You can judge if it's a bad Guinness by like the soot and the bubbles around the top of it. If there's loads of bubbles around the top, you know it's a shit one. And then I'll defame the place and make them sorry that they ever served me a Guinness if it's bad. So it's in their best interest to make sure it's a good tasty Guinness, or else they're gonna be getting a bad review off me.
Surely there's got to be an Irish bar there. There's an Irish bar in every city, every country.
There literally is, isn't there? I hope there is. I'll pop in definitely, but I also like going to places and not going to Irish bars. You know what I mean? I'm from Ireland. I like going, like, you know, if you go to a different country and you just go sit in an Irish bar, like, I'm coming to get away from Ireland, so I want to kind of go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Let's sit in a bar that's local to this country or relative to this country. You know what I mean? I like to get away from the Irish thing sometimes, but then sometimes at the same time, you know what you get with an Irish bar, and it's a taste of home. So we'll see. I haven't put too much thought into it at the minute. All I'm thinking about is the fight. So I'll get the fight out of the way, and then I'll suss out where I'm going to do after. You know what I mean?
And then lastly, I want to ask you about Arsenal. I know you support Arsenal. I know you like Arsenal, and they're having a good season this year.
Oh, stop, man. Actually, do you know what? Every year, there was like, oh, are you an Arsenal fan? I always say, yeah, unfortunately. But this year, I actually don't get to say unfortunately. I can actually say, yeah, fortunately. Arsenal fan this year, they're performing fucking great, and obviously Arteta is just out there. I don't know. Do you know that Amazon season, the football thing where they do the background and stuff like that? I wish they did it this year, because just to see the like
all or nothing.
The all or nothing thing. Well, obviously last season it was a big push in the right direction. Obviously they ended on not the greatest terms, and whatever it was lit a fire underneath them. They have a great bond with Arteta. They're all performing well. Martin Odegaard is a fucking baller. and he's just everything is just working out. Even Granit Xhaka, I used to despise him. He used to always piss me off. He used to make stupid. But now he's playing proper tidy. Same with Thomas Partey playing tidy. Martinelli, Saka, Eddie Nketiah now is playing class. He's scoring goals to beat the band. So after Gabriel Jesus getting injured, so everyone's pulling their weight, and it's great to see. It's actually after all the years of being fucking underachievers to see them do well this year. Now obviously I'm not getting ahead of myself. There's still loads of games left, but they're looking like they're on the right track to win the league. So I'm fucking chuffed.
Yeah, I support West Ham. I don't know. I got the sleeve in the background, or
I
the
can see it
scarf.
there, yeah.
I support West Ham, so we're having an absolute shocker in the season. So it's been terrible because obviously, based in London, Arsenal seeing them at the top, and it's just like, oh my god, here we go. So I would rather Man City win the league because Man City win the league every year, and it's just like
Yeah, it's not new. You know what I mean? You don't feel any way about them winning the league because it's just you almost expect them to win the league with the money and the coach and the players that they have. But it's like that thing. Remember when Leicester won the league? It's just every now and then you get that little surprise and you're going fucking hell. But the league table this season is actually mental with like Liverpool, Chelsea battling for 9th and 10th and stuff like that, and you have Brighton up there. Not
Fulham.
football. It's mental year of football, but that's the best thing about football. You know what I mean? Yeah, you never know what's going to happen from season to season, and this year's really shown to be like an exciting season. So I'm just fucking all once Arsenal keep winning, I'm happy. I think beating United there the other day was a big,
Yes.
big. You know what I mean? I was fucking chuffed when Nketiah scored that winner. So, but yeah, fucking on the right track.
Yeah, I think it's looking good for his. I think it's well as a neutral. Obviously, I don't support Arsenal, but I think you're going to go on to win the league. I think what are you like 7 points clear now.
Yeah.
So I feel like unless you make some some slip ups,
Takes 2 losses in a row. 2 losses in a row.
but they've got to win as well. So
True.
I think you've got the team, you've got the squad depth, and when Jesus comes back as well, he's going to push Nketiah. It's just it's going to be a good time for you.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It's great to see. You know what I mean? Like I said, after all the years of bleeding misery, we finally have to push us in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Well, all the best, Nathan. Been an absolute pleasure, and obviously, thank you so much for coming on the show again. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I wish you the best of luck on March 3rd. Obviously, go over there in Orlando, Florida, go smash it, and bring it back to Ireland.
Nice one, Lenny. You're an absolute legend. Really appreciate your time.